the best way to increase your sales is to make it unreasonable for your leads not to buy. The best way to do that is to structure your sales framework as a hero's journey, where you, the agent, is a guide for the lead, who is the hero, who goes on through the journey to reach their goal, which is coverage. Let's break it down. So your sales framework is equal to a hero's journey, right? Where you have a hero, you have a guide, you have the journey itself, and you have a goal, right? The hero is the lead. You are the guide. The journey is the framework. And the goal is twofold. For your lead, it's coverage, but really for you, it's a sale. Let's break down some terms. So the hero, right? Hero is someone who's good, responsible, and most importantly, brave. Brave is important because the other ones are much more, they're easier to comprehend when you are the hero. But bravery is about doing what it takes, despite how you feel about it, because you understand past your own emotions about a situation or a task. It is necessary for the greater good of yourself and your loved ones. That's a hero. And that's what your lead is. A guide is you. So a guide is knowledgeable, and more importantly, the guide's job is to remind the lead, reminds the hero of their role and their goal. Because on the journey, the hero can get distracted and things can be uncomfortable, or there may be lack of education, things of that nature. So it's the guide's job to have the tools to get through the journey so they can provide it to the hero, and also to remind the hero that they are good, responsible, and brave, and their goal is coverage for themselves and their loved ones. That's the goal. The journey is the framework. Let's break the framework down on this end. So the framework has a couple of elements involved, right? There's an introduction. There's information gathering. There's identification of the pain point so that you can provide the options or the solution. There's the cost benefit analysis that the lead goes through. And then the decision to buy, which it's important that the lead makes a decision. You as the agent, you can't make the decision for the lead. All you can do is provide them with the tools. But that's how you end up with chargebacks, when you sort of strong arm somebody into doing something they're not really sure of, or not positive it's something they want to do. That's where you get issues like that. They have to make the decision themselves. So this is a framework. Let me actually do it this way. So let's break down these various parts. Intro. Let's do a different color. Orange. For the introduction, there's a couple of important elements in an introduction, right? First is that you establish that you are the guide. And we remember here, a guide is somebody who's knowledgeable and who reminds the hero of their role and their goal. So that's you. You are the guide. You're knowledgeable because you've been here before, you've done this before, you've had this conversation before, you've gone through this framework, you've been on this journey before. And so you're the steady hand when things get shaky, when there's distractions, emotions, things of that nature. You're the steady hand to guide them through with the tools. The next step is info gathering. So I break this into verifying and qualifying lead information, right? So let's say it's an RSH lead and you already got the lead, maybe it was booked, but you already have the information. So initially what you want to do is verify the information, make sure it's accurate. Then you want to qualify them. Qualifying is, your basics. So like your demo info, the aspects that will allow you with your license to be able to sell to them. So do they live in the correct location in the state you're licensed in? Are they age appropriate, health appropriate, things of that nature? Then the next part, and really the most important part of this particular stage, is finding out the reason / need for coverage and beneficiary information. Who is it for? Their why and their for who, right? This is very important information that you gather. So here, let's put region / need for coverage and who it is for. Also, here, once you have this information, this is where you anchor them. You anchor your lead as the hero. This is where you establish that they are the hero. It's literally as simple as saying, it's good you're getting ahead of this. It's good we're addressing this. This makes you the hero that you are for yourself and your family. A hero is somebody who's good, responsible, and brave. This reason and need will help you identify the pain point. Let's go to the pain points. So identifying pain points. Generally, the pain point is one of a few issues, right? So let's say they might be looking for whole coverage because they're doing legacy planning. Or debt. They want to handle some debt, or they don't want their family to have to handle some debt. Or college. Or retirement. It doesn't really matter. This just helps you when you're understanding the reason, need, and who the beneficiary is, so that you can anchor your lead as a hero and establish that before you move on farther down in the journey. Solution. Your solution, you guessed it, is going to be coverage. So solution. At the solution stage of the framework, right, this is where you provide education, the bells and whistles of the coverage. What does it do and how does it speak to the reasons and needs that the lead has for covering the beneficiary, right? So it's education, then there's question and answer, and of course there's cost. So let's put Q&A and coverage. Then there's the cost-benefit analysis. So here you run into, this is when the hero is making the decision or beginning to make the decision about how they're going to accomplish their goal, right? So some blocks that they may run into are generally these four. Generally, it's about, of course, the cost, time constraint, lack of education, and they're just not ready. Like an emotional discomfort. Let's put discomfort. It's like they can't really explain it, don't really have, they just don't feel comfortable, which is fine. So essentially, your job as the guide is to provide the tools so that the cost is less than the benefits of coverage to the lead, right? The lead needs to feel like they're getting the better end of the deal, despite whatever the cost is, either monetarily or time-wise or education-wise or about their level of discomfort. So this is just very quickly how you knock these out. Let's do this. So as far as cost, let's say cost is, X amount per month, for example. This cost is a number, but it needs to be reframed. You need to make sure you frame it as a number versus the benefits for the beneficiary, speaking to the reason and need for coverage. That's how you answer a cost question. So it may manifest in, okay, I understand that it's going to cost X amount and you have some feelings about that. First, let's establish what's worth more, X amount per month or adequate coverage for your beneficiary. Would you be willing to spend X amount in order to ensure the care of your beneficiary for whatever reason or need? These are just questions that you ask and allow them to come to the conclusion because they need to decide for themselves. It's not really you telling them. That's not going to help them. You're just a guide. They are the actual hero. They're the protagonist. It's the agent's job, the guide's job, to frame it correctly so that they understand that their goal is coverage. So anything in between then, including the cost, is a distraction. What's most important is the benefits that the beneficiary gets from them being a hero in this situation. Okay. Next is time. Time constraint has to do with, I'm getting around to it. I'm a tire kicker. I'm not really sure if I want to pull the trigger right now. Yada, yada, yada. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is, if you have loved ones and you have a reason for coverage, then you should already have coverage. If you don't have coverage, the best time to have had coverage is to already have had it. The second best time, because we can't go back in time, is now. Now is the best time. And even better that we're here having this conversation. So let's tackle it right now. Let's get it done. Because we don't know what's going to happen, and you never know when you're going to go. It could be 5 minutes from now, could be 5 years from now, could be 25 years from now, could be 50 years from now. You never know. But you do have the ability to know that you're giving yourself peace of mind and you become who you really are, which is a hero for yourself and your family and your beneficiaries. So all of it's really about, reminding the hero of their role and their goal. It comes back to that. Next is education, or lack thereof. That's handled during the Q&A and the solution portion. So if it's not already taken care of, it's no problem. The beauty about the framework is that the framework goes in both directions. That's to say, you can go from info gathering to identifying the pain point, to providing a solution, to going through the cost-benefit analysis. And if they can't make a decision to buy, you can go back to questions about the solution. Perhaps there's another pain point that you missed. You can go back and identify the pain point, make sure you did that. And if you aren't able to do that, perhaps there's some new information that you didn't gather that you need to gather. So you can keep going until you get through and complete the hero's journey. And the last one, discomfort. Discomfort is okay. There's nothing wrong with discomfort. Everybody does new things. And when you first do something that you haven't done before, by definition, it's not comfortable. That being said, it doesn't mean it isn't the right thing to do. And as a hero who is good, responsible, and brave, you do what it is right to do despite how you feel personally about it. And ultimately, being uncomfortable is fine. That shouldn't stop you. But being unprepared in the event that you or your beneficiary or your family does need that coverage, that's a problem. And it's a problem that a hero doesn't have. A hero takes care of that problem via bravery, right? So being uncomfortable is okay. That's totally fine. This is new. This is an adjustment, but it's a worthy adjustment. And the hero is prepared to do that for themselves and their family. And so, like I said, not buying needs to become unreasonable. It should be unreasonable for your lead not to buy, because it's unreasonable for the hero not to reach their goal with proper guidance. And so, by definition, if you make not buying unreasonable, then the only thing that is reasonable for them to do is to buy. Because that's what a hero would do, which we established earlier that they are heroes. And RSH leads, what we do, one of the services we provide is sales call feedback. Because we understand how important your sales calls, your framework is to closing. And so we provide feedback for that. We can go over, or we do go over what's working, what's not working, where in the framework we can tweak, we can iterate, we can get better, become more efficient. And so close more deals, make more money. That's it. This is how you make more sales, by closing more, by structuring your sales framework as a hero's journey, where your lead is the hero and the goal is coverage. And coverage really means sales. Really, you should start looking at leads as sales. So it's really like a leads framework. A lead is a sale. They're interchangeable. It's just about making it unreasonable for them not to buy.